Hello, welcome to this Chills introduction. You might be wondering what Chills is and what it does. So I'll throughout this video give you a proper explanation as to what Chills is capable of. To summarize, Chills is a back-end environment that can be managed entirely through a user interface. This enables you to implement new back-end changes faster and more efficient. So in this presentation, I will start by showing the 6 most important sections of Chills. The first thing I would like to mention, it's not visible on the screen and it's not one of the 6 sections, but it deserves being mentioned, and it's Marketplace. Marketplace is available from inside Chills and allows you to add pre-made actions that other users has developed and published. Currently, Marketplace only accepts actions, but we will also add support for sharing your workflows and services as well. Part of the 6 sections is the dashboard. The dashboard gives you a quick overview of the Chills tenant's activity, system resources, and as well as an event log that displays informational messages, warnings, and errors based on your log sensitivity setting. Another section is actions. You can think of actions as small applications. An action can, amongst other things, be used to transfer data from a third-party system, send or store information to or from IoT units, and much more. If you have any in-house knowledge of development in JavaScript, or Python in this case, you can create your own actions that can perform both simple and advanced operations. If you do not have any in-house knowledge, you can use Chills Marketplace and use actions that other developers has created and published. And it's also possible to hire an external developer that has the required knowledge. And it's not a demand that they have knowledge of Chills, but it's required that they have access to a Chills tenant in order to create and publish actions. Next, we have adapters. Adapters is the core of Chills. It's adapters that allows you to process and manage data. And there exist several types of adapters: API adapters, WebSockets, server-sent events, and piping. And that's what's implemented at this point, but it's planned to implement several more types. So we're currently working on implementing a website adapter that allows an adapter to serve a website directly from Chills. A typical example of the most used adapter is the API adapter. This enables the adapter to function as an API. An API adapter can, with help of events, actions, and tools, process data and information. An event in this case would be when the API is being used. When used, it will run the actions and to perform the wanted operations. Actions that you can use in an adapter can be developed by you, as here in personal actions, or they can be fetched from the marketplace. Changes to an adapter will be activated instantly when saving the adapter changes. This is done without having any downtime or having to publish the new code changes. Then we have authentication. You have multiple possibilities in terms of authentication in Chills. You can lock your adapters against specific access groups. And you can use access groups that is controlled by the Chills local authentication service or by a third party, like for example Microsoft Azure Active Directory, by adding the corresponding service. Then we have data sources. Data sources enables you to add connections to different types of data. At the moment, we support Microsoft SQL and API, and Oracle, PostgreSQL, MySQL, CSV files. There's a lot of different types of data sources we can support at the moment. So you can automatically generate models based on the contents of a Microsoft SQL database or from an endpoint or MySQL database. And these models can be used in different parts of chills like pipe adapters to convert data from a source to match the data at a destination. And the data sources is also managed by using a workflow setup. So you need to create a workflow setup for the different tables in your data sources in order for you to manipulate data at your data source. Let it be getting data, storing new data, deleting data, whatever. You need to create an event flow path that will process the different information that is passed on to the data source table. Next we have services. And services enables you to add a service delivered by a third-party service provider. And you can also add chill services like tasks. Tasks makes it possible to create a task that will be triggered at specific intervals. So in using a task, you'll use events and actions and tools in order to perform the different wanted operations, just like you would do in an adapter or a table of a data source. Another service example would be that you can create a service that subscribes to new email in an account from Exchange Online or an Exchange on-premise service. So when new email arrives, it will be processed through the events, tools and actions that can perform operations on the incoming information, like for example logging the email to a database somewhere. So one of the most important parts of chills is the flow setup. This is where you have everything happen. It's flows that's being used in adapters, in data sources, well, services, mostly everywhere you have to manage and treat data. And as I mentioned earlier, a flow is built by using events, actions, and tools. So events, as in this case, which is an API adapter, I will add the unused event. And next, you will have to choose what will happen next. So I will drag a path from the output port, release the button, and Chills will provide me with some suggestions. So these suggestions are built upon the use of your system. So what the system normally would expect you to add after adding an unused step in an adapter flow. So what I would like to do is just to add a code block. And a code block enables you to add some quick code that it will process the code and then return it and send it along to the next path, which in this case would be the true path. So what I would like to do with this one is just to return a response. We'll send this string back to the user, or if something would fail, it would choose the false path. I would also like to send a response, but this time I would send an error just saying that invalid response. So if I would to test run this flow, I could just click the play button, click run, and I would get the result directly. So this is just an easy way to show you how a flow is built in Chills. And as I said, the flow setup will be used in all the different major parts of Chills. This allows you to easily manipulate data and work with all the data flows that consist in your system without having the most hardcore experience as to programming or database management. So this concludes this Chills introduction, and there's a lot more functionality and features that I would like to show you, but this is mainly just an introduction, giving you a quick explanation as to what Chills is and some of the things it can do for you. So to summarize, Chills is a graphically managed backend where you use flows and a mix of events, actions, and tools in order to manage and treat data. So I hope this was interesting, and please visit our page at chills.cloud and send us a contact form, and we'll be in touch with you as soon as possible. Thank you.